Welcome, everyone. We'll start with the reading of the public notice to see if by given that due to the novel coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic, a recent executive order is issued by the governor. Town of Isaac Zoning Board of Appeals hearing scheduled for Tuesday, July 6, 2021 at 6 p.m. will be held either electronically Zoom webinar instead of an in-person public hearing, or in person at Town Hall West, 401 Main Street, West, Islip, New York. Anyone interested in providing comments on the agenda items is encouraged to do so. Dated June 28, 2021, Islip, New York. John M. Lorenzo, Chairman. Mr. Chairman, our first hearing tonight has been adjourned. That's number 348-21, Daniel Avio, and I believe it's 27 Washington Avenue in East Islip. We'll get a new date, you'll be notified. Our next hearing is number 392-21. Danielle Hazen and Catherine E. Gordon Clifford. Permission to leave above ground pool having a side yard of 13.9 feet instead of required 14 feet. Pool deck having a side yard of 7.7 feet instead of required 10 feet. Pool equipment having a side yard of 4 feet instead of required 6 feet. And a walkway having a side yard of 1.8 feet instead of the required 4 feet. Residence A District, west side of Overlook Drive, 176, 341.7 feet north of Irish Lane, East Islip. Come on up, state your name and address for the record, please. Hang on. First, we have a recusal here, I believe, by our counsel, so we'll fit him at 2. And second, Mr. Barbarino, the floor is yours, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Chairman, members of the board, my name is William Garbarino, 40 Main Street, Salem, New York, with the applicant. This is a application for 3 area variances. They are not substantial. I respectfully submit to the board that the balance of the equities of the benefit of the applicant versus the effect on the nature and character of the neighborhood, these 3 variants should be granted. One is for 1 inch. 1 inch.
1 inch?
1 inch, yes.
Oh, that's substantial.
I wouldn't expect anything. So
That's
based on,
precedent.
yeah. So based on this, the biggest variance is 1.8 from the side yard of a walk, rather than 4. I respectfully submit that, even though that's a little more than 50%, it's not much because it's on the ground, it's small. And I believe there's precedent in the area. And the other has to do with the decking, which is 7 point something foot rather than a required 10. So based on this, I feel that the relief sought is not substantial. I don't think it will have an environmental impact on the neighborhood at all. And based on the facts of this case and the area of the homes where this is, I believe that this variance should be granted.
Great, so Mr. Garber, if they should have to fix the pool and deck or whatnot, just make it comply next time. I think we're good for all the minimus now, but if they have to redo the pool, take it down for no and up.
Oh, yes, if the pool is gone and they have to redo it and replace it, then, you know, that would be one of the things you have to comply.
Does anyone wish to hear this application? Does the board have any questions?
I have a question. There's a gate in front of that walkway, right?
Yes.
So whether there's a walkway there or not, people are going to be walking through the gate to the pool from there. So there's no impact, whether we deny or.
True, plus it's on the ground, so it's
Right.
not going to be visual or,
I have no issue with that.
I just have one question. Did you lose a lot of weight?
I lost some weight, yes.
Yeah, the only person who lost weight over COVID.
And I also got cataract surgery, so I don't have to wear
I
glasses.
was wondering.
So I'm now incognito. But I want to thank the board for going back to in-person hearings. It's great. I don't think I've been in front of this board for about 16 months.
We had no choice, the governor made us.
I should do a lot of things.
Mr. Wexler, I'll take a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we grant the application with respect to the pool for the life of the pool.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Have a great night, sir. Can I ask one question? Steve, you guys need that podium?
We do if you want to have the camera.
Okay.
They have nowhere to put their.
So maybe next week we can have another podium too.
Maybe they could just rest it on the stage
All right.
or the
I
piano.
think the ingredient matters to for next week. Next application number 393-21, Michael J. and Tiffany R. Ferrajari, permission to leave patio, side yard of 2.5 feet instead of 4 feet, residence B district, north side of Palmernock Avenue, number 331, 416.38 feet west of Fleet Lane, West Islip. Is there anyone here for the applicant? Second call, Mr. Chairman.
Second call.
Next application number 394-21, Peter M. and Jenna K. Natale. Permission to leave driveway having a side yard of 2.2 feet instead of required 4 feet, residence A district, east side of Malta Avenue, 48, 150 feet south of Celia Street, West Islip, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant? Please step up. Find a podium on the stage just in front of us. And then give us your name and address for the record.
Good evening.
Should be a microphone.
Just name and address for the record.
I'm Jenna Natale, this is my husband Peter Natale, we're at 48 Mall in West Islip.
You here for a driveway a little bit too close, just appears from the survey that it's just the northwesterly corner right there that connects.
Yeah.
Up at an angle?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. De minimis. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wexler, take it.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
All in favor? Application granted. Have a great night.
Thank you so much.
Next application is number 395-21, Frank Basile. Permission to erect a one-story addition, 10 feet by 46 feet regular, leaving a side yard of 12.55 feet instead of required 14 feet, residence B district, south side of Montauk Avenue South, number 72, 435 feet east of Conley Drive, East Islip. Is there anyone here for the applicant? Please your name and address for the record, sir.
My facility at 72 Washington Avenue, beside New York.
And with you is,
My wife Linda. Facility.
okay.
How are you guys tonight? How are you guys tonight? Good? Seeking permission for a one-story addition, leaving the same side yard as your house already holds now, correct? 1.5 tons?
Yes, the reason for the addition is, we have our father, my father-in-law living with us, and so we have to take care of him.
Sure. Great. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Wex, I'll take it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
All in favor? Application granted. Guys, have a great night.
Thank you.
Next application number 396-21, Vincent T. and Danielle Iacopelli. Permission to leave driveway having a side yard of 0.9 feet instead of the required 4 feet, residence B district, north side of Roderick Road, number 65, 230 feet east of Pine Avenue, West Islip, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant? Second call, Mr. Chairman. Next application is number 397-21, Joseph Engler and Ariel Bear. Permission to reconstruct a dwelling and erect a second-story addition on a lot having a lot area of 10,000 square feet instead of required 11,250 square feet, leaving a side yard of 11.9 feet instead of the required 14 feet, total side yards of 25.9 feet instead of the required 28 feet, to leave a deck having a side yard of 1.8
Jay,
feet.
on the mic.
Oh, didn't know we had one.
And the driveway on the side property line instead of the required 4 feet east, residence A district, north side of Shamokin Lane, number 15, 200 feet east of Tennecock Avenue, East Islip, New York. Your name and address for the record, please, sir.
My name is Joseph Eckler, 15 Shamokin Lane, East Islip, New York.
Okay, is that on?
I don't know. Tap that.
Nope, it's not on.
Okay, just speak up, and you is who?
This is Ariel Baron Engler.
The, what? Okay, there you go. Officers. All right. Mr. Chairman.
How are you guys tonight? Good?
How are you?
I'm just looking at this here. Yes. So you're seeking permission to reconstruct the dwelling, it appears you to bring your second story right over, what's there now?
Yeah.
You have, ZBA, well, you may not have had it, but the property has ZBA approval back in 1960. One of the lot area, for the same lot area you're actually listed for now. So you have 11, 9, and 14. Peter from planning, any objection?
No objections, just what is the existing decks plan?
It's coming down, it's
Oh,
taken
okay.
down. We had there was a tree that came down, we ground the stump down, so I had to take it back. I'm gonna take the rest of it out.
Okay, no objections.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wexler, I'll take a motion.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we grant the application.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application granted.
Thank you very
Thank you very
much.
much.
Next application, number 398-21, Patricia L. Ryder. Permission to use detached garage 20.4 feet by 24.3 feet, having a side yard of 3 feet and a rear yard of 3.7 feet instead of the required 4 feet each, driveway on side property line, and walkway having a side yard of 2 feet instead of the required 4 feet each, shed having a rear yard of 1.6 feet instead of the required 2 feet. Residence Beach District, south side of Elliott Place, number 24, 270 feet east of Grant Street, Islip, New York. Who's here for the applicant? Name and address for both of them, please.
Patricia Ryder, 24 Elliott Place, Islip, New York.
And you got,
Anthony Sisti, 24 Elliott Place, Islip.
thank you.
How are you tonight?
Great, how are you?
Have a detached structure a little bit too close.
Yes.
Driveway and property line, walkway having slotted 2 instead of 4. All seems to have been this. David from planning, any objection?
No objections.
Anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wax, I'll take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application granted.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, next application number 399-21, Michael Dale. Permission to install in-ground pool leaving a side yard of 13.5 feet instead of the required 18 feet, residence level A district, east side of Oakwood Avenue, 59, 583.95 feet north of Middle Road, Bayport, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Yes.
All right, speaking to that microphone, name and address for both parties, please.
Mike and Whitney Dale, 59 Oakwood Avenue, Bayport.
Thank you.
How are you tonight?
Doing well, yourself?
Okay. You're seeking to install a pool?
Yes.
13.5. Do we have any precedent for the side yard relief?
No precedent.
Yeah. It's not shaking up. You have any objection?
No.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Sullivan will take a motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Application granted.
Thank you.
Next application number 400-21, Carmine D. and Jermaine Capiello Life Estate, and Dominic A. Capiello and Janine M. Maynard. Permission to erect a second-story addition leaving floor area ratio of 29.86% instead of permitted 25%, to leave shed having a side yard of 0.9 feet instead of the required 2 feet, Residence Beach District. No side of Eagle Street, number 15, 477.59 feet east of Brook Avenue, Bay Shore, New York. Is there anyone here for the applicant?
Good evening.
Good evening.
Can you speak to the microphone, name and address for the record?
Carmine Capiello and Jermaine Capiello.
Great, how are you guys?
15 I'm sorry.
Okay, finish. Sorry.
15A Bruce Street, Fishkill, Long Island, New York.
Great, how are you guys tonight?
Good.
Good. You're putting the second story on or seeking permission?
Yes.
FAR is a little bit high. The good part about it is the code says 25, this board sees up to 30. That's okay, so you're just under 30, so I don't see an issue with that. And we see sheds all the time having a corner or so a little bit too close, so that's the minimum also on that. We'll take a vote, see how it goes. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? The board have any questions? Mr. Nicoli, I'll take a motion.
Motion to grant the application.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Application granted. Have a great night.
Thank you very much.
Next application number 401-21, Edward and Kristen Clark. Permission to erect a one-story addition, 14 feet by 28 feet, leaving a side yard of 10.1 feet instead of the required 14 feet, and to leave a driveway having a side yard of 0.33 feet instead of the required 4 feet. Residence Beach District, south side of Oak Street, 30, 363.79 feet east of Macon Avenue, Salem, New York. And name and address, please.
I'm Edward Clark, 30 Old Street, Cedarville, New York, 11782.
Let me guess, that's Kristen. Same address.
What gave it away?
I haven't lost it. 18 months later, I haven't lost it.
How are you guys tonight? Good. You're here seeking permission to erect a one-story addition with a short in the side yard, 10-1 instead of 14. Peter, any precedent for side yard?
The closest precedent that's really just in similar fashion is a 12.6, but there is an existing, one with this existing side yard of 6.7, and another one with a side yard of 7.7 on the condition that there's no second story. This is a one story, so I know how much this is.
You have a driveway a little too close, 0.33 feet instead of 3 feet instead of 4 feet. Small driveway, doesn't go nearly the length of the property.
Are you aware of a prior application made to this board, or is it by the predecessor owner?
And the predecessor was gonna add on before us, but
You tried to.
he tried, well, what he was doing was something completely different.
He was doing two-story additions.
Yeah, and as far as I know,
Yours is a one-story.
We have
That's
a
just a
two-story gate.
Oh, but your addition is going to be one story?
One-story
One
garage.
And you keep it at one, you're willing to?
yes,
That's all we have.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application?
Yes.
State your name and address for the record, please.
Karen McCutcheon, 28 Aldridge Drive,
How are you?
Could you just spell your last name?
McCutcheon.
How are you?
Good. So I live right next door to that driveway. So I used to live in Nassau County and moved to Suffolk County for better quality of life as far as space goes. So I feel it's infringing on my space because it's not the 15, 14 feet that it should be.
Appreciate that. They do have precedent within 500, a radius of 500 feet of smaller side yards than they're asking for one story. So if we were to say no, for argument's sake, to the applicants tonight, they say we have this precedent, how do we say no to them when it was already approved somewhere in the neighborhood that's close enough? For one story, not two-story, just a one story.
Are you opposing the driveway or the addition itself?
The space in between my property and their property, where the driveway, where the garage is going.
Or where the garage is going, not necessarily the drive, okay, I understand.
Right. I mean, on the other side of me, I got my neighbor right up against my fence with their patio. So I gotta listen to them playing music all the time in parties. Now I got a garage being put on the other side, and I feel like I'm, just, I should have stayed in Nassau County.
No issue. I understand. I just, I don't know if we have much to stand on.
I mean, I'm not opposed to, the way you guys are making it look, it's actually, they keep their house very nice, it's a very nice house. They keep it very neat, it's a very nice drawing, what they're gonna do doesn't need to be, maybe compromised, doesn't need to be 14 feet, can it be, 10 feet, or I know the minimum garage size is 10, average is 12, they're requesting 14.
They're talking about height.
No.
No, setback. Well, if I can ask, the two that were 6 feet and some other, those predated code, were those grants or are those legacy?
They were grants, I think the one from 07 was legacy, but the 03 I think was original.
And the 03 was from what was the relaxation we gave them?
That was 7.7 on the condition that there's no second story.
And this is 10.1.
Yes.
We've granted, we, the board, has granted less. Our predecessor, I don't think any of us were on the board in 03, so you can't blame us. As our chairman said, once we granted less, we don't have the authority to say no because it would be arbitrary. They'll say you granted right around the corner, which is 500-foot radius, you granted 7.7, you conditioned it, which I think we're willing to do. But if we granted 7.7, how do we not grant 10.1? it would not be fair to the applicants if the role was reversed.
Well, I wouldn't do it because I think that big for space. So is it possible to go with a 12-foot or instead of 14? So I don't feel like I'm being squished in between two neighbors.
That's an interesting proposition.
I mean, like I said, I think they're good neighbors, I think they keep their property really well, and I'm not.
No, you don't, you're doing what you're allowed to do. You don't have to, I mean, it's nice to say they're good neighbors, but even if they weren't good neighbors, you're doing, the law entitles you to flag here.
We're paying over $500 a month for 2 storage units. If we just want the space, it's a small cape. And,
We've been in the town of Islip. My parents have lived in West Sable 45 years. I grew up in the town of Islip. I worked for Suffolk County.
Would it be a big hardship to reduce a little? Does it have to?
It wouldn't take away from
The
the
space.
plan that I have.
Nobody gets whatever they want.
To be able to put my car in and then be able to, I have a whole big storage unit full of tools.
Sure.
And that's my hobby, working on my car.
Are you in any rush? I know you're rushed to.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were up against. We thought we'd be done with this already. We've been doing this for a long time now, and I guess COVID didn't help out.
Yeah.
But, yes, to be honest, to get it done by the end of August, then the summer,
Sure.
we pretty much have to solve.
Yeah, well, the reason I'm saying is I think maybe I would like to reserve the decision and talk among the board members to see, and read those other decisions that they had for the smaller side yards. We'll do it as fast as we possibly can, and get it back to you guys, so there could be some sort of, but I think we owe it to your neighbor and yourselves to really look into these other, approvals, so we're not setting a different precedent that we don't set it. All right.
So what we're going to have to do is, as our chairman said, we'll reserve, we're going to study every house in that neighborhood in a 500-foot radius, review all of our prior decisions, study them, work with planning, and dig into it to see what's fair to both sides. If we make a snap decision, it may not be fair to you, it may not be fair to the company.
2 feet, really.
I understand, but we have to, that's our job to be fair to all parties. So we'll do this quick as we can. We're not, I promise you, we're not gonna hold you up. So we'll get it done as soon as possible. All right. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Johnny, what's the reserve decision?
All in favor?
Aye.
Reserve, we'll get it done as soon as possible. We'll have something emailed to you guys.
Okay, thank you. Next application number 402-21, Masood Syed. This is for number 22nd Avenue, Brentwood, New York, and it has been adjourned within 1 year because that application. Next application number 403-21, Thomas P. and Deborah A. Wicker. Permission to erect a 1-story addition and a side yard of 14.8 feet instead of required 18 feet. And to leave a roofed over entrance having a side yard of 11 feet instead of the required 18 feet, residence AA 278 cluster district, outside of Bugle Lane, number 775, east of Danghouse Drive, Sayville, New York. The applicant name and address for the record, please, for both.
Thomas Witcher, 7 Beagle Lane, Sable, New York. Matthew Bush, 2615 Union Boulevard, West New York.
No, yes.
That makes sense.
Good, how are you?
So you have an addition up, 14.8 instead of 18.
Yes, we have the addition to align with the current side yard of the house. That's only for 18 inches before we stepping it back.
I can't imagine.
So we have the addition to align with the house, roughly 18 inches, and then we're stepping it back beyond the required setback. So the variance we're requesting for the addition is only for the 18-inch portion.
Okay.
And then we
I'm
have,
sorry, the step back, does that comply?
Yes, the step back applies.
Everything applies except for 18 inches.
Yes. The other part of it is we have a roof over the side entry that's existing. We're looking to keep that and just reconstruct it in place. It's nothing that's framed down to the ground, it's just framed off the side of the house.
Should never be closed?
No, not enclosed.
Never be closed?
Never enclosed.
Need any objection from planning?
No objections.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Sullivan, take motion.
Mr. Chairman, move to grant the application with proviso that it never be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you.
Next application, 404-21, J. King Realty, Inc. and William P. King. Permission to erect two one-story additions, 8.8 feet by 14 feet and 10.3 feet by 14 feet, with a front yard of 6.6 feet instead of the required 40 feet, and a second front yard of 19 feet instead of the required 30 feet, and to leave a shed having a rear yard of 1.6 feet instead of the required 2 feet, residence double A district, southwest corner of Peters Boulevard, number 4, and Wood Hollow Road, Great River. So anyone here for the architect name and applicant name and address in the record, please.
Yes, sir. Joseph Clements, Jeremy Clements Architecture, 3275 Veterans Memorial Highway, Suite B11, Montauk, New York, 11779.
Could you just spell your last name for me?
Clements, Clemens. So one thing, I'm not sure if we have to make a revision to the call. I did speak with Mary about this earlier. We were also requesting an FAR increase of 3.5% with this application as well.
So what would be the FAR?
It would be 28.5%.
Chairman, move to amend the call.
Second.
All in favor?
Thank you. So realistically, we're asking for two additions, both to square off the front of the property. It's a non-conforming lot as it is, so we would be asking for the setback relaxations. But the setbacks themselves are consistent with what was previously approved and match the property as it is now.
Just squared off the.
We're just squaring off the front, so it's just making it a square building rather than a T-shape.
And the FAR is around 20, you're asking for 28.5?
Yes, sir.
You see 30 over. Any objection from planning?
No objections, just know that the lots, the house is unusual, was already closed to the side.
Sure. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wexler, take a motion.
I'll make a motion that we grant the application and as amended. Second.
All in favor?
Agreed. It's good seeing you all.
This application number 405-21, Nicholas and Brittany Gasparo. Permission to erect a second-story addition, 10 feet by 30.5 feet, leaving a side yard of 6.5 feet instead of the required 18 feet. Residence double A district, east side of Wood Hollow Road, number 333, 307.69 feet north of River Road, Great River, New York. Is there anyone here for the
Yes.
address for the record?
Michael Lipinski, representing Jared Mandel Architects, PC, 25 Hillside Avenue, Wilson Park, New York, 11596. Good, how are you? So I'm here representing Brittany and Nick Gasparo. They bought the house back in 2017. They didn't really anticipate the room they needed as a family current size. They have 2 kids now, 3 and 2. So for this specific application, we are extending out the existing master bedroom forward to give them more space and reconfiguring the existing layout to become more functional.
Mr. Mandel, how do we grant a 70% relaxation?
I'm sorry?
How do we grant such a
So-
vast relaxation, 18 to 2.5?
So-
I see already they're shy.
Yeah, so the pre-existing non-conform, that corner that you see, the 6.5, that's an existing part of the house. So what we're doing is just rebuilding the roof structure on it, and we're adding out the front.
Oh, the hatched area. So
Yeah, the hatch
other
area
is
is correct, yeah. So
pre-existing.
the 6.5 is the pre-existing non-conforming condition. And what we were doing, since we're extending out the front of the house,
I got
is ripping the roof off and
That's
rebuilding.
of course.
Mr. Wexler, so we're not going any closer.
Yeah, we're not decreasing that
Just trying to help you
non-conformity at
out.
all.
Oh, since you say it like that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we're not decreasing the non-conformity.
Oh, you know what? You sound a lot like the vice chairman of this board. It's interesting. You can say just that exact same thing.
That's a late
That's awesome.
Great. Thank you, sir. Is the agenda, assuming there's no objection?
No objection.
Is anyone?
Just to note for the record, a neighbor called just to let us know that we advertised it incorrectly. It's not on the east side of Wood Hollow Road, it's on the west side.
Oh, okay. I mean, we also have a letter from their neighbors that we kind of just go around asking for their permission.
How many signs?
Three. The one, 321 Wood Hollow Road is the one that would directly affect the,
You want to submit that, give it to you.
sure.
Thanks. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application?
Yeah.
Board, have any further questions? Mr. Wexler, please.
I'll make a motion that we grant the application.
Second. All in favor?
Thank you, guys.
Next application number 406-21, John and Kelly Bradley. Permission to leave above ground pool having a side yard of 9.9 feet instead of required 10 feet. Shed not having 20 feet behind the front line of the dwelling, a side yard of 0.8 feet instead of required 2 feet back on one side. And rear property line not having required setback of 4 feet each. Continued driveway outside property line not having required setback of 4 feet. Currently encroaching onto the adjacent property. Residence Beach District, north side of Jefferson Avenue, 1639 Higby Lane. Precise New York, name and address for the record.
Kelly and John Bradley, 1639 Jefferson Avenue, West Lakewood, New York, 11795.
I'm sorry, we can't hear you. We have this great acoustic in this beautiful building.
Here we go.
Here we go. Sorry.
16 months, I would be grateful to be back.
18 months of absence,
Very
37 minutes in.
So Kelly and John Bradley, 1639 Jefferson Avenue, West Lakewood, New York, 11795.
9.9 instead of 10 feet.
Yeah, sorry.
You have no regard for the town code. And you
It's in the
appoint
background, and you can-
90% of an inch. No regard for the town code. Next, you're gonna be driving the expressway at 56 miles an hour.
So obviously, as you can tell by our sarcasm, we're making fun of ourselves.
Well, but you like building close to property.
You do have a shed that's not 20 feet by from it, dwelling. How long has that been up?
Since 2018.
Yeah, it's not a permanent shed.
The code changed a few years back. It used to be 10 feet by from my dwelling, now it's 20 feet by from my dwelling. So if it's not permanent, you could shift that back to 20 feet. So that's where I comply that shed. All right.
Is there a chance to leave it where it is without
Very fortunate.
a very poor chance? Okay.
We see them all the time. And we probably don't know all the time. If it were built,
Sacrifice the shed, you get the other one.
All right, what do you want, the shed or the pool? All right, that answers it. That answers it.
I am
we have a patio, that seems like de minimis. There's a piece of it encroaching on the other property, it says here.
That's a driveway.
Okay, so we can't, it's out of our jurisdiction to speak anything outside of your property.
Okay.
Any objection from the planning?
No objection.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wexler, take your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll make a motion that we deny so much the application seeking to leave the vinyl shed on the western side of the property, not having the sufficient setback. So we deny that part of the application and grant.
Second. All in favor?
And in no way are we granting, to be clear, we're not granting any permission to encroach on any other property.
No,
Okay?
we
Get the
understand
word
that.
out with your name.
Great.
All right.
If they say it's okay for the driveway.
Between you and them.
Right, so if they say it's okay, it's.
You just gotta
We're
show.
not, we cannot tell you that.
No, I
We're
understand.
giving you the maximum we can do.
Yes, sir.
Which is, we're allowing you to keep your driveway up to your property line.
Okay.
So
What's beyond there is between you
Well, we
and
change our minds.
Okay, no.
As far as the shed, once we move it, do we have to come back here?
They'll inspect and
Okay,
that's been 20 feet behind the rules.
Okay, so
The
it's gonna
front
be
was party property.
20 feet back, and it's gonna be 2 feet away from the side?
I believe 2 feet this area, yeah, you have to check the building, I believe 2 feet.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, 2 feet.
All right. Next application is number 894-18. It has been adjourned from 12/11/2018 and 2/5/2019. Joseph Marino, permission to leave detached garage, 20.7 feet by 24.3 feet, having a side yard of 4.2 feet and a rear yard of 4.6 feet. Instead of the required 10 feet, each driver having a front yard occupancy of 47% instead of 45%. And 6-foot fence on property line, not having required setback of 10 feet, residence A district, southeast corner of Montauk Highway, number 380, and Allen Street, East Islip, New York. Sir, name and address for the record, and please start with reminding us why this was adjourned.
Because I didn't have the survey.
Just name and address for the record, sir, please.
Joseph Marino, 380 East Main Street, East Islip, New York, 11730.
How are you tonight?
Good.
So, I know you just filed, but is it because you didn't have the survey or the
Yeah,
project?
because I needed to get the driveway to 35.
Gotcha, okay, you came back a few times on this.
Right.
and you
I
didn't-
got, when we measured, I thought it was 35. When the survey came, it's 36.
So now the front yard,
It's 36 instead of 47.
okay,
And then the side yard is 28, which was allowed 30. Well, I don't know how you, it's a corner, so I think it counts as 2 front yards.
yeah, second front yard, correct.
So the side street, the Allen Front Street would be 28, which I'm allowed 35. And the front being Main Street, I had it 47. When we cut the driveway, I thought we were at 35. And when the survey came, it's 36.
Okay, and with regards to the framed detached garage, they're saying, it's 4.2 and 4.6 instead of required 10? Was that on last time also?
Yeah, what happened, it was allowed 500 square feet, and I believe it comes out to 503.
Okay. They let you lower the height of that also, right?
That's 14 feet.
Any objection for planning?
No, Chair, it's a little confused with the 47% occupancy. Can you explain that again?
The driveway originally was 47%, I guess, of the property. So they wanted to cut back to 35, which we cut the driveway, and now it's 30. When we measured it, I was almost positive it was 35. But then when after we done the survey, it came and wound up being 36.
Okay, but it's 47% is kind of the two fronts. That's what it's
Correct.
coming from, okay.
And this 6-foot fence, your property is,
You don't know your lot area, do you? I think it's like 11,500 square feet or something.
yeah,
Just the fence is the side street. The
We know
fence is
about
still like
that
10 feet
fence.
from the curb.
We know about the fence, we just need the line. I think Mr. Sauer is like
465. It says 11,000 to, it's like 238.
so we, 11,250 is the code for the 6-foot fence, we see up to 12,000 usually, give one relief for the 6-foot fence in the line, so I think you should be good with that. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any questions? Mr. Wax, I'll take a motion.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like a motion to grant the application.
All in favor? Application.
Next application, 407-21.
We'll miss you.
Come back in 2022. Next application number 407-21, Roberto and Maritza Mejia. Permission to leave a roof over patio having a side yard of 12 feet instead of required 14 feet. And 2 patios on the side property line not having the required setback. Each residence A district, south side of Wainwright Street, 388 West Terry Road, Hockenham, New York. Who's here for the applicant?
John Tufel, a professional engineer, 707 Route 110, Farmingdale.
Could you just spell your last name?
Good, thank you.
Could you spell your last name for me,
Sure, it's T like Tom, EU, F like Frank, EL.
Commission roof over patio side 12 and 14. Any objection from planning, David?
No objection.
Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Sullivan, I'll take a motion.
Chairman, I vote to grant the application.
Second.
All in favor? Application granted, so have a great night.
Okay, thank you.
Our next application is number 408-21, NYCREO LLC. Permission to use a detached garage, 23.2 feet by 23.3 feet, having a side yard of 3.7 feet and a rear yard of 4.3 feet. Instead of the required 10 feet, resulting in floor area ratio of 26.7% instead of the permitted 25%. The patio on side property line currently encroaching, not having a required setback of 4 feet, the driveway having a side yard of 1 foot instead of the required 4 feet, Residence A District, east side of Louis Kossuth Avenue, number 1831, 150 feet north of Fifth Street, Rockland, New York. Is there anyone here? The applicant name and address for the record, please, sir.
Yes, my name is Michael Bode, that's B-O-D-E. I'm the attorney for both NYC REO as well as the mortgage company that has its foreclosure action proceeding. Thank you, doing well, thank you. Beg your pardon?
State your case.
We acquired this property was built sometime in 1975 or so. NYC REO is a subservicer for a trust that bought a pool of mortgages. They really didn't know what they had until they actually started to try to work out each of the properties. In this case, we have the garage that was in violation of the zoning or the setbacks. And we had been working with the town on violations that we had of record. We took negotiated a deed from the former owner, and after that, we settled the violations on the property by doing the required work. I was the attorney representing NYC on that one. And with respect to the garage, they put up siding to comply and get out of violation status with the town. And so what we're looking to do is to get the variance, complete the renovation, or not the renovation, but the restoration of the garage by making it to the way the town wanted, and then selling it to, we have waiting residential buyers on that.
Have you seen this, sir?
The survey, yes, this is,
Familiar with it?
yeah, 200.
Can you please get your fences to focus instead of meandering? I see a meandering chain link fence, a meandering wood fence.
Well, it is dark and spooky, so I'm wondering if the fence is moving on its own.
How long was, I'm just out of curiosity, how long was this property in foreclosure?
Oh, since 2008, you can't get through the foreclosures.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
11 years,
That one, yeah.
13 years?
Yes, renewal of the list pendants every 3 years. You just can't get through the foreclosures.
So who pays the taxes, who pays this?
Yeah, the trust, when they buy the pools and mortgages, they buy, let's say, 25 or 30 defaulted mortgages at a time for a fixed price.
So
Some
they
are
buy
winners.
a huge discount?
I'd say in this particular case, maybe 35% of the face amount of the note. And then they have, some are winners, some are losers, some they try to negotiate settlements of foreclosure. Some of them just, people have disappeared. In this case, the guy, they had to chase him down and find him and give him money to get a deed so he could get possession and a right to do something, fix up work.
Is this considered a loser?
Yes.
Or break, this is a loser?
This
So
is
they
13
carry
years,
it for 13 years?
They do taxes, write-offs, some win, some lose, offsets. You know, it's a big game. They're located, it's a trust in Delaware that represents other trusts, and this is what they do.
Well, it's all part of the
If they were losing, they wouldn't be in this business anymore.
That's true, that's true. Some have gone out, you know, I've represented some have gone out because of their bad calls.
All right, so this detached structure is just about 42 square feet over 500, which you did not need 10, I didn't need 4 on the side. So the FAR is a little bit higher than 25 to 30. Patio on the side property line, that's encroaching over, obviously, we only have jurisdiction up to the property line.
Yes.
And not having price for the driveway's a little tight on the one side. When it's in the full concealed. Is there any objection?
No objections.
Does anyone wish to hear this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Sullivan, take it.
Mr. Chairman, move to grant the application.
Second.
All fair?
Aye.
Application
Didn't
granted.
take 13 years to get the taxes.
It took us a while to
Like the
get
Mill of
here.
Maryland, the town of Islip was much quicker than.
Thank you.
Next application, 409-21, Joe Lochin, Hezbollah, permission to erect two-story dwelling on a lot having a width of 50 feet instead of required 75 feet, lot area of 5,000 square feet instead of the required 7,500 square feet.
Is that for all members or?
11.5 feet instead of the required 14 feet, total side yards of 25.5 feet instead of the required 28 feet. President's Beach District, east side of Jefferson Avenue, 75 feet north of Hancock Street, Brentwood, surrounding here. Sir, name and address for the record.
My name is Robert McCarthy, Classic Home Design and Construction, we're licensed contractors in Suffolk County. 72 Stonehurst Lane, Dix Hills, New York, 11746. Tonight, we're going to, members of the board, chairman, an approved application back in February 2016. And as you've just spoken, we're looking for the lot to be 50 instead of the 75, the area 5,000 instead of 7,500, which we're reducing a side yard also, maximum, a total side yard. So here today, we have this house that's been sitting, my client sitting here tonight is considering getting the property, he's gone all the way to the extreme to purchase it from the original owner that got the approval down in 2016.
So you're asking for the same release?
Same release, no changes to the exterior. He's actually made some interior improvements, added a washing machine on the inside.
Okay, so the old approval expired, right?
It expired, correct.
So you're back here asking for us to, in essence,
True.
okay, thank you.
Guy, Mr. Lorenzo, back in 16, made a motion to.
Yeah?
Did you sign it?
No, I didn't.
Anything Jay Bowers approved is good enough for me. So I'll
That's
take
it, me too. Does anyone wish to be heard in this application? Does the board have any further questions? Mr. Nicole, up for the motion.
Motion to grant the application.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, Mr. Chairman, we have two matters that are on for second call. Okay, the Natali application number 394, I'm sorry, Jared Jari application 393-21. Been adjourned to July 20th. The other application, Vincent T. and Danielle Icopelli. Anyone here on that application? Any other business, Mr. Sarah?
No. Oh, sorry, no, well, we have, I'm sorry, that's a lie.
I could have stayed home and did this.
I feel rejuvenated being back.
Mr. Chairman, we have 6 accessory apartments. I move that we grant them for a period of 3 years.
Second. Is there a second?
Second. Aye.
All right, thank you. With that, I make a motion to adjourn.
Adjourn.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Make a motion that any application that wants 17 missing ceiling tiles.
Should be granted, yes, exactly.
Yep.
If Peter says, I don't know, there's no precedent.
Let us know when it's,
Oh, yeah.